In this video, I want to show you how I attach the rod that is holding the tool onto the rest of the art quilt. Now I'm going to show you the one that is standard for, like, say this is an 11 by 14 with the width of about 14. I'll show you that one. And you would have the same principles that you would follow if you use one of my other designs, which have a shorter, they're not the, I don't know what this is, it's not 12, probably a 10-incher, but it's the very same thing. You would just get a smaller rod, and the way that I do this is one of two ways. If I'm going to be doing this standard size, I usually will get the 12-inch rod, comes like this at Walmart. I think there's like 10, yeah, I think it's like there's 10 in there. And it's already done, it's ready for me, it's the right size. I want something that's got a good diameter so that when it hangs, this pulls away from the quilt. That's the whole idea, is to have that much dimension between the tool and the back of the quilt so that this can freely float away from the art quilt. So how that's done is really pretty easy. It's the same procedure whether you're using this quilt or you're going to be using the smaller pattern. You just use the right size rod. So I have a piece of batting. It's cotton. It really doesn't matter if you, whatever you've got as far as a batting goes. Glue gun and glue ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run, get this out of the way, I'm going to run some glue right along the top of this. This is the easiest way to do this. And then I'm going to roll the rod so that it picks up the glue. Turn it over. Glue this end. And do the same thing. Roll it onto the rod so that now I have the rod completely covered with a piece of batting. Okay? So now what I have, see that? Now what I have when it's finished, I have a rod that is covered to the same color of whatever the background is. In this case, it's a very, very light color, like a light sky, and I used a little bit of an off-white. So that rod color is going to match whatever your background is. Then I'm going to do the same procedure once I have this all glued together. I'm going to do the same procedure with a piece of fabric. Remember, it's the fabric that goes with whatever fabric you have at the top of your quilt. So again, I'm going to just run a strip of glue. You get as close to the edge as you can, but it'll take care of itself. Put this away, roll it up into the glue, bring it back, turn it over, and run a line of glue down this edge. And roll it up. Now what you want to do is seal this. So the easy way to do that is to, again, just run a strip of glue. It doesn't have to be the hot glue. It can be the lighter, I don't think they really call it a cool glue, but you don't want to burn your fingers on this. So we're just going to seal this down. The width of the fabric that I have here on this rod is about 2 inches. And the batting is the same. So being able to have 2 inches allows me plenty of room to make sure that I'm covering this. Now, I want the seams to close if I can, but honestly, don't sweat if you don't have it completely covered, because that's going to be face down on your quilt so that no one's going to see that. So once you've got that all done, you want to trim the ends off, making sure that it's all even. And then in most cases when I'm doing a class, I'll just use a puff, little pom-pom, and put that on the ends to kind of finish off that. You could put buttons there. You can put another piece of fabric over. It's whatever you want to do, but do something to finish that off. And then in order to attach this, I'm going to use the small one to show you how I do this. Here's the dimensional piece that's going to float. It has already been fused onto a piece of tulle. And so what I do is I would take my glue gun and run glue right across here. And then lay this down and then gently roll that over. What you can do is take a piece of parchment paper so that you don't burn your fingers and just roll that over the top. You can then glue this entire thing down, or you could start by gluing this down and then adding the tulle, whichever way you want. Excuse me, so that you can finish up by trimming that off in the back. So again, I'll repeat this. Once you've got your rod completely covered, you can glue it down to your back of your arc quilt, and then take your dimensional piece and put a piece of glue right across here. Use a piece of parchment paper to keep your fingers from getting burnt, and just tap it down and you're ready to go. Okay, I hope that helps you understand how to do the rod and how to attach it to your 3-dimensional floating arc quilt.